Hello students. Now today we are going to consider the next topic of green chemistry, that is a green reagent. So now let us start with this. So basically the green reagents, before starting with the green reagent, we should understand what are the reagents and where they are going to be used. Basically reagents are necessary components to any kind of reactions. Without that the reaction does not occur. So the reagents are very important to any kind of reaction. So in the last lecture, we learned about the 12 principle of green chemistry. So before proceeding to the green organic synthesis, we must include some of the following requirements. These are, we have to avoid the waste, whatever the atomic efficiency that we should maintain, avoid the use and production of toxic and dangerous chemicals. We should reduce the energy requirements, use renewable materials, and use catalysts rather than stoichiometric reagents, right? So these are the dangerous chemicals which produce compound that perform better or as well as the existing and are biodegradable. We should avoid auxiliary substances such as solvents or use eco-compatible solvents, water or dense fuel, which reduces energy requirement, right? So in particular, it is important to find a replacement for toxic and dangerous reagents produced by eco-unfriendly processes and that are responsible for producing expensive to dispose of inorganic salts, such as the methyl halides, dimethyl sulfide, and phosgene are the representative examples of undesirable reagents used for methylation and carboxyl methylation reaction traditionally. All these reagents are toxic and corrosive chemicals. Moreover, the reaction requires a stoichiometric amount of base as a catalyst and produces a stoichiometric amount of inorganic salt that need to be disposed of. So a green reagent is one that does not produce wastage or pollution when released into the environment either before or after completion of reaction. So here we are going to discuss such type of green reagent, that is DMS. DMS is nothing but the dimethyl carbon. You can see here the structure of DMS. So DMS. DMS is well-known toxic reagent, which is compared to other carboxylic or alkylating reagents such as phosgene and methyl halide respectively. This DMS is used for selective methylation and active methylene groups. It is used for the methoxycarbonylation of amino groups, and after the decomposition of it gives byproducts only methanol and CO. So dimethyl carbonate is environmentally being substituted for the dimethyl sulfate and methyl halides since it is well-known non-toxic as earlier discussed. So beside DMS, DMC does not produce inorganic salts. In fact, the leaving group methyl carbonate decomposes giving methanol and CO. So the first we are going to consider the methoxycarbonylation of amino groups. So here you can say that this is the aromatic amine, this is a aliphatic amine, primary amines that are going to be methoxycarboxylated by using a traditional method, that is using phosgene. You can see that these two reactions are occurs in presence of phosgene gas, CO. It is a poisonous toxic gas, and in presence of alkali, it produces a methoxyalkylated amine, right? So in both the cases, first one is aliphatic amine, a primary amine, second one is aromatic amine. So same reaction we are going to conduct in presence of DMC, that is dimethyl carboxylate. You can see that this aromatic primary amine is going to be reacted with the DMC and it produces a methyl ester, right? This is methoxycarboxylated of aromatic amine and it produces a methanol. right? So this can be very easy to separate out. And here it is in the second case that aliphatic amine is going to be reacted with the DMC. It produces this methyl ester and the byproduct is methanol. So here in the previous case, you can see that these are the sodium chloride water molecules and the reagent is very poisonous, toxic. So here DMS is don't have such type of property. So it is a good reagent or a green, we can say that is a green reagent for the methoxy carbonation of amino groups. So methylation of phenol. So here it is, you can see that the methylation of phenol is occurred by using DMC. So it gives the byproducts methanol and CO2. While this one is the traditional method. This phenol aromatic, this phenol is going to be reacted with the dimethyl sulfide in presence of alkali. It gives this type of methylated product, and these are the byproducts. Okay. So next one is the methylation at on active methylene groups. So you can see that this is the malonitrile, benzene nitrile. It is a benzene nitrile. When this benzene nitrile is going to be reacted with the DMC, so at this active methylene group, the methyl group is going to be active. So the methylation is occur at the active methyl group in presence of DMS. And again here it is, you can see the byproduct is methanol and CO2. So DMCs are used bringing out methylation at active methylene group as shown here. So the next one is the next topic is the green raw material. So whenever we are going to perform any reaction according to the Green's principle, the raw material should be there, and that should be a green. So green raw materials are obtained from the nature basically. The prominent example of usage of green raw material in the chemical industry is in the manufacture of adipic acid. So that adipic acid is prepared or synthesized by using a D-glucose. So the conversion of D-glucose to adipic acid is shown here. So this is a biosynthetic pathway by using E. coli bacteria. We are going to convert that D-glucose into the adipic acid through several steps, right? You can see there are 4 steps and we get the adipic acid. This is totally biosynthetic pathway. So no wastage, no byproducts, only the expected product is going to be formed. So the overall process is going to be green method. And we have been used here a green raw material that is D-glucose. Okay. So in this case, you can see this one is the traditional method. The earlier method which involves benzene as a starting method. You can see the difference between these two reactions is that here it is we are going to use a raw material which is a green, right? And here it is the raw material is benzene, which is very carcinogenic. So these are the number of steps. Number of steps in case of this method, earlier method was is minimum, but the starting material is a carcinogen. Here it is the starting material is green. It does not have any kind of effect to the human or environments, but the benzene having a carcinogenic nature, which is responsible for the cancer. So here it is, in the earlier case, E. coli is used as a catalyst formation of gluconic acid from the D-glucose. Hence, there is no usage of toxic chemical reagents. Also, this method does not form any byproducts. While in this case, this is a 3-step reaction, uses a toxic reactant, that is benzene, is energy consuming, high pressure required. You can see here that polluting, oxides of nitrogen emitted, right? It uses expensive transition metal catalyst, right? Nickel or cobalt, and corrosive reagent like concentrated HO. Hence, the process is not good. The overall, while this process, overall process is green.